Hi students, it's Miss Andress and welcome to another week of distance learning. So you may have noticed that in your packet under social emotional learning, your goal this week is to think about two things, optimism and schedules and routines. So optimism means if you saw a glass of water that was filled halfway, would you call that glass half full or half empty? What is it? Is it half full or is it half empty? So having an attitude of optimism means that you find the good in everything, that when you look at this glass, you see it as half full instead of half empty, because really it's both. But if we're having a mindset of optimism, that means that we see it and we say that it's half full. Optimism means to always find the good in everything. So for instance, it's a real bummer that we can't go to school every day and that we'll be doing distance learning the rest of the year. And that can really get us down. But something that can help us is having an attitude of optimism and to think about what are the good parts about this. I mean, there's lots of bad parts, like it can be scary and it's not our routine and it's makes it hard on our parents with jobs and stuff like that. But if we look at what is positive about it, we do get a lot more time with our families. We get plenty of rest. We'll have time to spend time with our families and spend time at home. And we get an extra chance to review what we've already learned. Sometimes in the regular school year, our school year just keeps going and going and going, and we don't often really get to pause and just review and refresh all those things that we actually already learned and cement them into our brains. And this does give us a chance to really review our skills. So if we're having an attitude of optimism, those are some things that we can see are positive about our current situation. Something else that will help make our distance learning and our lockdown and our quarantine easier on us and on our families is if we establish schedules and routines. So at the beginning of the year, I personally am not a morning person, and it's really hard for me to like wake up early and on time and stuff like that. So I purchased for myself at the beginning of the year this habit journal, and it like gives you all these pages and gets you in the habit of being a morning person and making a good morning routine and a good bedtime routine for yourself. And as we talk about routines, I thought I could share a couple of those things with you. I'll post some of these pictures on the feed in Class Dojo. But one thing that really inspired me as far as writing my own schedule is Benjamin Franklin, who, as you know, was like, a founding father of our country. He was very good at keeping himself on a scheduled routine, and it gave him enough time to like build a new country and do good in the world. And this was his schedule that he wrote for himself. And he mapped out how much time that what time he wanted to wake up, what he wanted to do before getting to work, like what kind of chores he wanted to do or what kind of meditation he wanted, and then how much time he was going to spend working. He made sure to give himself a lunch break, and he liked to read on his lunch break. I like to read before bed, but he did his reading through his lunch break. And then he worked in the afternoon, and then in the evening he tidied up and did some chores and then spent time with his family and his friends doing fun stuff. And then he went to sleep at the same time every night. And that really helped him have a nice routine. And it can help us if we make routines for ourselves. That can really help us stay on track, because sometimes when we're in lockdown for so long, the days just blend together and they just kind of string on, and we kind of get disoriented, and then we don't sleep well, and then we're tired during the day, but then we're too awake at night, and things kind of get to be a mess. The other thing I wanted to share with you is as you're making a routine for yourself that works for you and your family, you might also consider a schedule or a routine for your distance learning work. And you want to do something that works for you, for the pace that you work at, and what you have going on with your family. But this is an idea that I'll post on Class Dojo in the feed. And in this schedule, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I suggest working on math for 30 minutes. So work on a math activity for 30 minutes and then cross it off on your math bingo tic-tac-toe board where you show what you've done. Then every day you can do 30 minutes of reading log. So it's really important if you're doing some math review every day and some reading log every day, spending 30 minutes reading every day, you're going to really help your learning and help yourself really stay on track. Then I allowed 60 minutes every day after you do math and reading to work on projects. And some of those projects include things like doing your dictionary, doing your writing activity, working on your science project, and doing some of your social emotional learning stuff. So those are some things that, this is a suggestion, it's not required, but this is a suggestion of something that might work for you as you build your own learning schedule. All right, so as we do that, let's just keep in mind, in order to rock our distance learning, check Dojo every day. I post pictures, videos, things like that, things that you need, information about pickups of packets and supplies and stuff like that. So keep checking that every day because I post something for you there every day. Also work on your packet every day. Maybe you'll make yourself a learning schedule. Make sure to leave that 30 minutes of math and 30 minutes of reading and then more time for other stuff later. Distance learning is not supposed to be like 8 hours of solid work like in our regular lives. Our lives have been very upset and disorganized because of this global pandemic. So don't feel like you have to do 8 hours of work. See, in my schedule, it's 2 hours. And in 5th grade, 2 or 3 hours, that's totally cool. And then the other thing is to connect. Remember that we have to connect once a week. But if we can connect more, that's even better. And connecting means there's two-way communication between you and one of your teachers. So that means things like coming to Zoom or messaging on Dojo or sending text messages back and forth or having phone calls. Those are all things that work between you and your teachers. And your teachers on the 5th grade team are me, Mr. Boone, Miss Zabo, Mr. M, Miss Walsh, Miss Sophie. Those are all the teachers on your team. All right, well, let's do this all this week, and I look forward to seeing you, hopefully in Zoom, and you guys are doing a great job, and please let me know if there's any way that I can help you and your families. All right, take care.